It is
Right here work? Right here work?
Yeah,
As long as you accept and believe with all your heart that I truly am magic, then
You
we're
are.
good to proceed.
I do. All right.
The more you know.
We have literally spent 3 minutes just getting ready for this one moment right here. It is my honor. It's our pleasure to have episode number 1. This is Show with Icon Industries.
Shayn Mitchell.
Steven Porter.
Steven Porter, I called you the wrong name earlier.
You did.
What is your title?
I believe you had mistakenly referred to me as, was it Chief Geek?
I do apologize for that.
Your apology will be considered for possible acceptance at a later date, but for now, I'll just correct you in saying I am the chief nerd of Icon Industries.
And Mr. Mitchell, what exactly is your title?
I am the front man.
Front man.
I'm the face of the company and the one who pretty much all of you guys will be interacting with when you come to the building. Actually, you'll interact with all of us because, you know, we're cool like that.
Yes, you guys are. So share a little about like, how's the journey been? Like, what is it that you guys do? How long have you guys been doing this?
My journey is kind of crazy. I actually started off I started off in the military and then became a electromechanical engineer, traveling all across the universe, the globe.
You know what? I had no idea, Shayn. You'll have to tell me that story one day. Thank you.
It's a fascinating one, full of so many truths.
Lots of truths.
Folks, learning something new right here.
But yeah, so I was traveling all over the globe, designing and installing desalination plants and water treatment things on ships and oil rigs and stuff like that. And one day a friend of mine said, you know, I think we can make a movie. And we all were like, yeah, let's make a movie. So we bought a bunch of equipment that we had no clue how to use, spent a lot of money. And we made our first movie. And I got hooked. There was just like this, I enjoyed doing that so much that I was like, I like this. So I started doing other projects.
If I may interrupt real quick, for the record, this movie is Fistful of Flapjacks. It is free on YouTube and you should all go watch it.
It's awesome. So I got hooked on it and started doing other video projects. And, the time came in my career, I was like, I'm not happy doing this. I'm tired of traveling across the world and I want to stay home. I just became a single father with sole custody of both my kids. So, in 2014, I left my job and started my first company and went from a really nice high 6-figure income to making $11,000 my first year. It was awesome. But I was happy, I was living off savings. I was getting things established. I was having breakthroughs. It was awesome. I started understanding the ideas of like, when you're in business, you got to start niching down, figuring out what is actually like generating income and what's wasting time. There's a lot of lessons learned in the first iteration of my first company. And then eventually that turned into Cypher Studios. And, at that point I was sharing an office with my brother who was a general contractor. And so, I had a studio, I had a big, nice big green screen. I had my little podcast studio and, we'd have clients come in, like at the time, Steven would come in and there's a trailer full of lumber on my green screen. Because my brother was a general contractor.
Got it. I'm like, why do you have lumber? It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And so it's actually where Steven and I met.
We'll get there.
But then eventually we found this location that we're at now and built it out. It was a rated illegal dispensary that had been raided by the police. So we had a lot of rebuilding and sprucing up, if you will, to make it presentable to the public.
There is so much potential there. I'm going to leave that alone.
And we opened up just in time for a pandemic. It was awesome. So, Steve, you want to tell them how you got here and how we met?
Yeah, for sure. So we kind of came about this from pretty different ways. Where Shayn's real passion for this was more on the running a business, entrepreneurship, starting up a company. I got into it because I fell in love with cameras and editing and the whole production side of things. And
That's why he's called the chief nerd.
indeed,
Not the chief geek.
Chief nerd.
shut your filthy mouth,
Nerd. See?
chief nerd. So my whole entry into this space was just, I'm a creative person. I'm a highly technical person. I want to just, whatever I can do to just play with cameras all day, that's going to make me happy in life. And I reluctantly and somewhat hesitantly decided, okay, if I have to go the entrepreneurial route and start a business to enable me to do that, I'm willing to do that because I love the technology and the creativity that goes into it. So the way that Shayn and I ended up meeting was at Cypher Studios at the old building.
Yeah.
He had started a meetup group, meetup.com. You join up with
Nice.
people,
Yeah.
similar interests and all that.
It's like dating, but for businesses and people and hobbies.
Pretty much. Yeah, like hobby groups. You have like,
Is that the next side hustle?
there's an idea I need to tell you about. It's actually really good.
You will have to tune in for the outtakes for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Shayn starts this meetup group for filmmakers, artists, creators, that whole kind of thing.
Smart.
And I joined this meetup group because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's good to, make some connections and meet some people, but really I'm looking for someone that I can partner up with, take this studio to the next level, get bigger jobs, have more crew. So I'm there to meet people that I can potentially hire or do a business partnership or something like that with. Little did I know, that's why he started the group, because he's looking for someone too.
Yep.
And we just hit things off immediately. And probably within the first couple of weeks, we were like, okay, there's definitely room to do business together to some extent. And fast forward, year and a half later, we're getting this building together.
Yep.
And then a couple years after that, we've now officially done away with Cypher Studios. And then my company at the time was UDA Media. Those are both shut down, and we've created the whole new entity for Icon Industries as a partnership.
Yep. I officially launched that in November of last year.
Icons aren't born, they're created.
Exactly.
I
Absolutely.
wrote that down for you guys. I just wanted to let everyone know.
This is true.
That was good. Okay. So, Fistful of Flapjacks, by the way, right?
Yes.
That's the movie. I just want to go back to that because you guys were talking so quick. So, we're going to put the link in this so you can go and check it out because the chief nerd told you to. Okay?
Absolutely.
You have
And
to.
for the record, I had no part in that. That was long before Shayn and I met.
I
Yeah.
totally
I'm just a
get it.
huge fan of the movie.
I just think it's hilarious that you gave him a plug before he even got to speak.
And
So
Keep in mind-
play is all about.
that was my first foray into filmmaking and from a bunch of people that had no clue what we were doing, and it came out amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the simple
It's like
fact
cult classic amazing.
Okay.
It truly is. And honestly, from a production standpoint, the fact that there's even a video that's watchable at the end of the day,
Yes.
given the level of technical experience, the kind of equipment that these guys are using, like, it's amazing they pulled it off.
Okay,
It's
so
literally
you
just a
are
thing that's watchable.
genuinely impressed
Yes.
by what they accomplished.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's not a friend thing. It's not like, oh, he's my boy, I'm just supporting him. Like you
Well, to be fair, a lot of the quality and the viewing experience of Fistful of Flapjacks comes from the fact that it's a horrible low-budget horror movie.
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But in that way, it is truly enjoyable beginning to end to watch it.
I have never ever been as excited to watch a YouTube video as I am at this very moment, folks. At this very moment. So Steven, what do you appreciate about Shayn as a partner?
Oh,
The biggest thing for me is that we have this extremely symbiotic relationship where everything that Shayn loves to do and is passionate for and is skilled at is the stuff that I muddled through because I felt like I had to. And
and I hate editing.
yeah, and I think Shayn will agree that that goes both ways. So for me, it's like I said before, I was okay with the fact that I was forcing myself to do the business stuff because I really wanted to be on the technical side. And with this partnership with Shayn, I'm free to focus pretty much exclusively on technical stuff. I'm specking and building computers for us to edit on. I'm specking all these cameras, microphones, everything. This is all my world, and I have control over it, and I love it. And it frees me up to not have to worry about talking to clients and signing contracts, which I hate. And Shayn, for some reason, likes it and is good at it.
Got it. Specs and technical stuff. What sets you apart from how you operate the production side versus other branding companies? I just want to kind of get into that. Like, what's different about the way Icon Industries does the technical side of things versus your competitors?
Yeah, there's two main facets to that I want to touch on, but they're both closely related. So I am a massive geek when it comes to not just like reading the spec sheets and watching the review videos and thinking, oh, that's a cool, pretty camera, I want to buy one. I'm the kind of guy that will research to the point of like what factory is manufacturing that image sensor and what are the actual specifications, like electrical circuits on circuit boards, to make sure that the equipment that we have here is going to be reliable, that we have a good supply chain, so I know that they're going to be available when we need them. When we're looking at things like repairs and replacements for equipment, knowing that it's going to be a good long-term investment, rather than buying, all kinds of weird other things that maybe each individual thing is good, but as a cohesive system, they don't work as well together. So that serves two functions for us. One, to make sure that we have a really good level of consistency and control over the quality of the product through the whole chain.
Right.
And also make sure that the pricing that we're able to offer is competitive, because we're not spending $50,000 per camera. We're spending more like $5,000 to $10,000 a camera. And at the end of the day, the image is just as good, because I'm the kind of geek that will write custom software to make it just as good.
And another thing for us on that standpoint is standards. We keep our standards at a higher level, I feel, than most people. Like, you go into, like, we're in a podcast studio right now. So a lot of people would come in here expecting to see, a DSLR camera or, some kind of camcorder, even webcams, right? You come in here, we're actually using cinema grade cameras and high-end lenses.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're using higher grade microphones. We're using, consistent lighting. Mm-hmm. We have a standard for everything, so that when our clients come in here, they understand that they're getting the best quality product that they can get.
And just as someone that has seen the growth,
Mm-hmm.
I will share what you guys do is so impressive. When he says chief nerd, that's the side of it. I think that's difficult for most people to grasp, is that yes, you can do this and it can look amateurish, mm-hmm. or you can find the right partners, make sure that they have standards and they have the technical knowledge. So Steven, what I gather from you is, because of your expertise, you guys are able to offer value and quality together.
Yeah, correct.
And that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. So Shayn, same question. What makes Steven the iconic partner for you?
I like it. That's a good one.
Okay.
So like we use the term nerd, like, because it's endearing, but like Steve is like a literal genius.
Right.
Like his IQ level is like up here, and this guy has forgotten more than I'll ever know when it comes to this stuff. Like, I feel that everyone who's here has a level of expertise that is maintained in their craft, but Steven comes in and like enhances everybody. He's like magic fairy dust you sprinkle on everybody.
Thanks.
Just think positive thoughts and you can fly. If you catch that reference,
he sprinkles magic fairy dust.
Put it in the comments.
We'll talk about that later. Okay,
I'll
please
have
continue.
you know, this was already raided by the FBI. The building, we're good now.
Stay tuned.
I
might be editing this section of the podcast.
I'm thank God. I can't. Magic fairy dust? No.
Apparently you're not familiar with Peter Pan then.
No, I am. But it was just the way you said it, my man. That was amazing. Please. So, Steven's Kobe Bryant here.
If we understood sports, then I would say yes.
Awesome.
One thing we don't know.
So Steven is basically Steve Jobs here.
Correct.
And it comes to innovation.
Yeah. He's definitely got a understanding and technical knowledge that it's hard to find someone of that level. So like, when I met Steve and when I started getting to know him and understand like how in depth his knowledge was, I was just like, I need him on my team. I was like, I'll figure it out. I need him on my team. And, you know, it wasn't long after I met him, probably a couple of weeks, we had our first job together, you know? So
I got to share with you, your chemistry, just from an outsider's point of view, is incredible. What would you have had the success without each other?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both on sort of an upward trend individually, but I think the exponential growth that we've seen has absolutely been because of this collaboration. I don't think either of us would have done that.
I was going to say it's definitely been an exponential growth versus just a steady climb. You know, I think, yeah, we both would have been successful, but definitely we got that hockey stick instead of just the mountain climb. You know what I mean?
Friday, January 27th.
Yes.
Big day for you guys.
Oh yeah.
How'd you guys feel? Let's talk about that day.
Terrified.
You go first. No. The chief nerd. I didn't call you gay.
Thank
Chief
you.
nerd goes first.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, so that was easily one of the biggest days of my life because that was the first time there was an actual official thing recognizing the progress that's been made so far.
What happened on? We haven't said what happened.
What a terrible mistake I've made in not telling the people. That was a ribbon cutting for Icon Industries.
It was a grand opening.
Our official grand opening. The mayor was like, a bunch of officials were there, and it was crazy stuff. And I remembered at the very last possible minute that I was supposed to give a speech, and that's what terrified me. But apparently, despite the fact that I completely blacked out and just winged it, not knowing what I was doing, people seemed to like it. So that's cool.
It was a crazy day. Like, literally, like the studio we're in right now, you know, that the morning of, I'm at Jerome's picking up this couch. Yep. And our ribbon cutting was at 11:30, and I'm at Jerome's leaving there at 10:30, dragging this couch behind me to have it in place so that we could do the ribbon cutting. And people were already here showing up as we're lifting this couch into place here in the studio.
And in case the timing of this whole situation isn't crystal clear already, from my perspective, I saw this couch in the back of the trailer parked behind the building while I'm scrambling around setting up like a sound system and some cameras out front where the whole ceremony was going to be. Yeah. So I see the couch back there. I'm like, Shayn, are you good? Do you need a hand? He's like, no, I got help. We're good. There's some other team members back there helping out. So I was like, okay, cool. Trust you guys. We'll get it done. I run up front, setting up cameras, plugging in cables for mics, and the ceremony just starts. And through the whole thing, I don't know if this couch is in here yet. It might be halfway down the hall, and we just had to drop it there because things are starting out front. The first time I actually saw this couch was after all the presentations, a flood of people run into the building to check it out, the whole open house thing. I walk in once there's already 30 people in this room, and I'm like, oh, good, the couch is there.
It was a crazy day. It was a powerful day. You know, obviously the recognition was amazing. Like he said, there was so much going on that, like, you know, I blanked when it came to, you know, actually talking to the on the microphone, and I completely flubbered and forgot to say thank you to my entire team. Luckily, I had my backup, and he remembered. You know, it was just like so many things going on, but it was a high, you know, because you're like, all these people are here just to celebrate you and celebrate the accomplishment that you have done with everything that we put together here. And it was awesome. It was truly awesome. Like I didn't put, when I was setting it up, I didn't think it would have that kind of impact or that kind of like, that kind of response. And then when it actually happened, I was like, whoa, you know, like completely taken aback from it. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest single event in my life that helped me overcome a lot of the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Where in my mind, like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty good at this stuff. I know my way around a lot of cameras. Like I can edit, this is cool. We got a business going. We're profitable. Like, that's all cool. But then the ribbon cutting happens and the grand opening and everyone's there and all the recognition and publicity and all that. And I was like, dang, this is a real studio. It's like an actual company.
Yeah.
This is respectable.
Steven, you said imposter syndrome?
Oh, yeah.
Did it happens at all levels?
Absolutely.
And you guys felt that?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Still do to some extent, but that helped a lot.
What was it like? What was that moment like when when you overcame that imposter? How did you guys feel? Like, what did you talk about it? Like, what was it like?
For me, it was just like a sudden moment of clarity where I saw, and I've seen for years, all the pieces kind of coming together, but it didn't really hit me like it was done. And it's certainly not done. Like, we're always going to be growing and improving, but it never felt like it was at the point where I could step back and just admire what's happened so far. Because in my mind, there's always like, we're still looking at getting more cameras and upgrading some equipment and hiring more people and all that. So it's not that it was done in the sense that we're going to stop progressing, but it was done enough that I could step back and say, okay, what we've got so far is really good. And I need to just take a minute to recognize and appreciate that even if we did stop here, it's legit. It's running. Things are going smoothly. We're progressing.
Yeah. Big thing for me was like, like I said in my original journey when started my first company is like, you learn what works, right? And so when we were developing Icon, it was a big thing of like making a like conscious decision on these are the products that we're offering. And yes, we can do all of this, but we're only going to focus on what we do best, right, at the moment, and then add on as we perfect things. And in getting to that point, it's just like, that's when for me, when the imposter syndrome was like starting to fade, it was like, we are the experts. There's no one that does this the way that we do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we're there.
And I think there's a lot of that's still happening where, there's obviously we're not the only production company around. And there's plenty of other people that do really great quality work that we collaborate with and we're friends with.
Yeah.
But looking specifically at things like podcasting, I think we're in a really unique spot where we have the technical knowledge, the knowledge of the industry and how distribution works and things like that, that I'm not seeing from a lot of other places.
Yeah. Because one of the biggest things that we do is like, it's 100, one of the things we offer is 100% done for you. Right. So it's like you literally, and this, you've experienced it
I have.
as one of our clients, you just show up, speak to a camera and then leave. And then you have a finished product coming your way, and then, but we also take clients that want to do it themselves. And we actually show them, we teach them how to do the distribution, how to get it out on there, how to get on, Apple iTunes, how to do all that stuff that they're, lost when they come to us. And then we teach them how to do it and they take it on their own. Mm-hmm.
I'll be hitting the road in about 10 minutes to drive down to another studio and help them run through their whole camera system. I've been consulting with them for about a year now.
Amazing.
Something like that. So we're all for spreading the knowledge and helping people out and helping everyone grow.
See, and that's the character. I got, you guys do not brag about yourselves. You guys have absolutely no ego, so I'll brag about you. I think, come on. Genuinely, like sincerity, authenticity, like your expertise, your knowledge. It's like at this stage in my branding, it's a no-brainer. I don't, it's not a second question. I know the quality of workmanship I'm going to get at Icon Industries is going to be significantly better. What makes you guys experts when it comes to like building icons? Like, how many podcasts are you guys managing right now? And should everyone have a podcast? Those are the two questions I want to ask both of you.
All right. So, Steve will attest this because he's in charge of all the production on how many podcasts we have getting out. But what really makes us, we have business podcasts, we have relationship podcasts, we have, just story podcasts. We're producing audio only, we're producing video podcast. One of the things that really makes us the experts is that we've been doing it so long and we've started when it wasn't as popular as it is now. right? So technically we've been producing podcasts since 2017.
Nice.
Right. As a rental studio. And, we really doubled down on it and just studied the industry, studied what works, monitoring trends. There's a lot of back end work that goes into it, but, Steve can tell you about how many shows we're producing.
The Chief Nerd?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Chief Nerd.
Please.
So the production pipeline that we have right now is we're currently putting out about 50 to 60 episodes a month.
Nice.
And that pipeline can handle scaling up to about 80 to 100 episodes with where we're currently at. So if you want to start up a show, we got capacity for you.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, folks. It's not that much capacity. They're already doing 50 to 60, only 20 spots left.
But the crazy thing with that is we're also ramping up to where
we're scaling.
Yeah, that's going to be growing
amazing
rapidly as we scale in the next couple months. But even where we're currently at on those deliverables, that's 50 to 60 episodes. That's not 50 to 60 pieces of content.
Right.
So I'm not gonna share too much of our secret sauce, but of those 50, 60 episodes a month, lots of those we're getting 5, 6, 7 pieces of content per episode.
Yeah.
So as far as deliverables, we're well into the hundreds of deliverables per month.
Yeah. Amazing. Because scalability, that's what you're talking about. So Steven, should everyone have a podcast? If your brand matters, your brand matters into the future. And I don't know whose brand will matter, but if your brand matters, should everyone have a podcast?
We're at the point now where if you have a legitimate company, the expectation is that you have a website, you have some social media presence. And moving forward, I would say we're already there, but especially moving forward, it gets to the point where if you have a legitimate company, you have something of value to offer, the expectation is that you'll have a podcast, because that's one of the major ways that you'll be reaching not only your current clients to keep that engagement up with current clients, but also reaching new clients and finding collaborators to help grow that company. So a lot of what we're doing right now is we're using podcasts to maintain relationships with our current clients. We're using podcasts just internally as Icon Industries to build us up as experts. This episode right now, I'll be perfectly honest, part of the reason we're doing this is because it helps add authenticity to all of our businesses.
Right.
We see Ollie as someone who's the host of a show, who can command attention, who has that authority. You guys watching this right now are seeing Icon Industries as experts in this field, and we know what we're doing. And this is one of the few times where I will actually brag a little bit and say, yeah, that's accurate. That's part of why we're doing this. This is proof of that. So yeah, I would say everyone should have a podcast. How you choose to go about that, the content that you make, whether or not you choose to use video, which you really should, that's going to vary somewhat depending on the industry and depending on your goals, but you absolutely should have it.
Steven, I'm blown away you just said that. Okay. So folks, when I met Steven, which was what? It's been almost three and a half years.
Yeah.
Like total introvert, for Steven to say you got to be on video, like it's a no brainer. Like I 100% agree with you. And that's your outlook. Like that insight helps out a lot because you're on the back end of it. It's not like you're front facing and you're the face of the brand. So for you to say, I don't understand how anybody can not be on video. I agree with you. I just think it's free. Like what a free platform to get your message out.
Yeah. The power of podcasts is that it does make you that subject matter expert, right? Yep. And for us, it is a content multiplier. So the biggest thing is the society today is a 8-hour society, right? So that meaning like anything you put out in social media in that realm has an 8-hour shelf life, right? And in order to keep up with it and in order to stay top of mind with your audiences, you have to keep putting out content. And the podcast is the most powerful tool to do that,
right?
Because it is evergreen, meaning that people can always go back to it, right? The content generally stays pretty relevant. But then you can use it in multiple different ways, multiple different platforms so that it can get a greater audience and a greater response. Mm-hmm. So it's literally one of the most powerful tools you can do to help grow your business and grow your authority.
Just to build a little bit off of what Shayn just said, one of the reasons that the podcasting is so powerful is because, as Shayn mentioned, it's a content multiplier. So that's what I was getting into with the secret sauce that I won't share too much of. But we have ways of repurposing a podcast episode to make multiple pieces of content out of it. Those go out to all kinds of different social platforms. And by doing that, you drive incredible amounts of engagement and organic growth, where normally you'd have to do a whole bunch of different types of productions. You're doing photo shoots, you're doing video shoots, you might be doing an audio only podcast, you're doing still graphics. When you produce a podcast with the strategies that we use for it, you get all that content from one recording.
Yeah. One input, multiple outputs.
Yeah, and gentlemen, like just as an entrepreneur, and your entrepreneur journey has been phenomenal. So thank you so much for sharing that. Like, it just, you look at time, you know, and I think that's what Icon Industries also, besides helping you facilitate your icon status, building your brand, you're also creating time, which we get to do what we're passionate about, which is being entrepreneurs and taking care of and serving people. You facilitate that ability to be able to do that, like rebranding and repurposing the content multiplier is a huge, and what better way to do it than podcast?
On that note, you know, one of the most powerful pieces of advice I was given by a mentor, you know, multi-million-dollar successful mentor, is he always said, do what you do best, hire the rest. It's going to save you more time and more energy and less headache than trying to figure it out and do it on your own.
And in the long run, savings financially as well.
Yeah. Believe it or not, hiring the experts will save you money.
Yes.
Versus trying to spend, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on equipment and then realize you don't know how to use it. And then you're taking all your time, because, you know, time is valuable, right? You're taking all your time to learn how to do it and not working on your business.
There's a story behind what you just said right now, buying equipment. Steven?
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Okay.
But yeah, we're helping a couple people out that have found themselves in that situation where they decided to DIY it, which I'm all for. Like I was saying, I got into this industry because I just love doing it. It started out as a hobby and then morphed into this. So I 100% support people that want to absolutely get on YouTube, buy some equipment, go down to Best Buy and get yourself a little like Canon DSLR, whatever. Start there. Absolutely. But if you're doing it as a business and your goal is to get some return on your investment, then the amount of time and effort that you put into buying the wrong equipment, learning it, realizing, oh, I should have got that instead. You flip it on Craigslist or something and buy something else, and then you have to relearn that. By the time you did that, you're spending hundreds, thousands of dollars on equipment. You could have come with us and recorded a bunch of episodes, had the podcast out there, and already see a return on that. Yeah.
And Steven, just to add to that, the quality of workmanship that you guys do is there's no comparison to a novice to what you guys do. I mean, you have the whole staff. So I will, you know, as a client, I absolutely. So gentlemen, live events, Icon Industries, live events. So in the past, I would say 12 months. No, it hasn't even been 12 months. It was last April, April 2022. You guys tell us about that. Yeah. So talk about live events.
Take a quick break because I need to check my phone because I need to be on the road.
Yeah.
My alarm's going to go off in 30 seconds. So.
Okay.
Yeah. We need to be wrapping this up for me because I got to get out of here.
Okay, we're good.
All right. About 10 minutes.
So.
We got 10 minutes?
Yeah.
This will take 5.
Cool. You ready? So in April 2022, you know, we started really getting into the live event space. And, you know, we started with the Evolve Your Brand or Go Extinct event that, you know, we collaborated on and started putting together. And, you know, the growth of that has been exponential with the growth of Icon. And, we really made a major investment in that portion of our business. And the service of having live event management, hybrid live event, meaning that we're there managing the event in person, but also live streaming the event behind either going live straight to YouTube, stuff like that,
right,
or behind a paywall, right? Meaning that people are buying tickets to see the event virtually. Right. We set all that up for them.
Nice.
And, you know, we made a major investment in being able to do that at our standard, you know, 4K. Like we want higher standards. So we've
real actual 4K.
Yeah. Like we're actually streaming at 4K versus most other servers out there are just doing 1080. So there was a heavy investment financially in equipment to be able to do that. And we're actually creating some of our own equipment to be able to facilitate that. And to be able to, we had a event. They called us on a Monday, and the event was Friday, and it was not a small event. This was over 1,000 people. This was at the San Diego Air and Space Museum. Huge space. And we pulled it off. We had 16 or 20 foot projection screen. We had massive speakers. We had everything all in place Friday morning, and the event went flawless. So
that is
phenomenal. We also had live music,
Yeah.
and they played a feature length film.
Yes.
And a bunch of different speakers. There was a whole panel. Like it was not a trivial event.
Right. And Steven, I've seen your standards when it comes to setting up live events. What was the best moment about that event you guys did at the space?
It was a really good opportunity to put a lot of our new equipment through a test drive.
Nice.
And just seeing that, again, I'm the kind of nerd, we're not shooting with it now, but one of the cameras that we film with a lot, I literally researched for a full year before I pulled the trigger on it. And it was a similar situation for a lot of the equipment we use with that, where I was heavily researching stuff, just double checking every single little detail, making sure everything's compatible and going to work how we expect for months in advance. And that was, as Shayn said, a very last minute gig. We basically got the call. They're like, "Can you do this?" I was like, "Yeah, we can." And we pulled it off.
Yeah.
So threw everything together on Monday, just as a test setup in here to validate everything. Literally flawless. Everything out of the box, plug it in, everything works. Which is pretty rare for a production of that scale. So that validated a lot of the pre-production, research, testing process that we put our equipment through and our vendors through. And yeah, everything felt really good. Just sitting back there, watching this movie, hearing the sound, and I was like, this is legit.
Yeah.
This is great.
It went off.
Look at that smile.
It went off so well that, the Air and Space Museum wanted our contact information so that we could be put on their vendor list. Right. And the company that we performed that for, we are now, doing multiple events for.
Guys, seriously, congratulations. And it doesn't surprise me at all. So what's next for you guys, for each of you in Icon Industries?
We're buying a lot more cameras.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
Yes, we actually do have it set up to do. We are purchasing more cameras. We're doing, for us, we just wish to keep growing, bring our staff on full time. You know what I mean? And, eventually, we're going to be looking for more space to just grow the business. We're focusing on podcasts. We're focusing on building subject matter experts, focusing on social media management and event management, and the staff that we need to grow that. We want to just bring everyone in and make an amazing environment to work in. That's our goal.
Beautiful. What's the number one reason people should work with Icon Industries? Go, Steven.
We're rad.
Rad?
We're just super cool people.
I fucking love Rad. Rad is from the fucking 80s if you've seen that movie. I'm sorry, I had to go there. Shayn, Icon Industries.
Yes. So, what's the question again?
What's the number one reason someone should work with Icon Industries for you?
For me, we are literally the experts in our field. We will make you an icon.
You just got to do the work.
Yeah. We're going to give you all the steps. We're going to give you a roadmap, a simple roadmap, if you will. Shameless plug. We're going to give you a roadmap on how this whole system works. The biggest thing with working with us is we always plan for the future. You might come to us and say, "Hey, I got a podcast idea." And we'll be like, "Okay, well, how do you use that podcast? What are we going to do? How are we going to grow it? How are we going to affect your business?" Right? And how do we use this tool to give you an ROI? You know what I mean? Because I don't like when people are like, "Hey, can you make a video for me?" No, I can't make a video for you. What I can do is show you how we can make a video together and how we can use it to actually get the results that you want. Because you're not coming to me saying, "I want a video." You're coming to me saying, I want to increase my lead generation.
Right.
Right. But you're saying I want a video. So no, what is it that you want to do? How do we do it? And, so that's why they should come to us.
And then they take care of all the production for you. And
Yeah.
I hate editing as well. Shayn, Steven, thank you so much. Icon Industries, episode number 1. We're so excited about what we're going to put out there for the community, for the city. And if you're looking to start a podcast, if you're looking for a great production company, you're looking at live events, Icon Industries is it. These are my go-to guys. They do a phenomenal job. They have great people. And the operative words, you guys got standards.
Yes.
And we got the cheap nerd. Look, when you got a cheap nerd on team, you know you're in great hands. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.
And another thing, if you see what we're doing, you like what we do, right? And you want to showcase your business and want to be on this podcast, reach out, just DM us, and we'll get back to you and see about having you on the show.
If you liked our episode, if you like what we brought to you, please follow Icon Industries on Instagram. We'll have all the handles. We'll have everything down. Give us a like, share this video, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.